Well, folks, Elon Musk seems to be addicted to softcore anime porn that his company is creating. He's very excited about it. I'm Cam from Bulwark, and I want to talk about it with you today because it's very interesting. I asked my producer, editor, Dante, to join us for this video because I just didn't want to talk about this alone. And Dante has been a very, very solid, stalwart, steady Elon hater since before everybody turned on him. Dante, I feel like you were way ahead on the Elon hate train.
Yeah, I don't like the guy.
There was a period of time where he was kind of cool. He was in Iron Man 2, I think. He was just this guy who was maybe going to get people really interested in electric cars and potentially move things towards electric in something that would have a positive impact on the environment. But over the years, he lost the plot. It wasn't something that magically happened in 2024. This was a gradual decline that can be traced back several years before he put on the MAGA hat. But before we get into this, I just want to show you a video of the type of AI softcore porn that Elon's really hype about. So this is Elon's version of something that is so subversively sexy, it's going to change the way that we all interact with AI as a whole. So since leaving the White House, Tesla's stock has plummeted. It is way overvalued on the market. It's actually crazy how high they value it compared to what their actual revenue is. And Elon announced the newly founded America Party, meant to challenge both Democrats and Republicans. And it has been pretty much completely inactive since a storm of tweets that lasted, 3 days? But he's been very committed to pushing Grok, his AI company. He is very insistent that it is a superior alternative to stuff like OpenAI's ChatGPT and the other AIs that are literally driving people insane. Grok is the future, according to Elon. It is also best known for briefly going on a Nazi tirade and calling itself Mecha-Hitler and pushing white replacement theory and eugenics. But when he isn't hyping up the Grok bot, however, he mostly touts how users can leverage Grok to create moving images of attractive women, dictating elements of their appearance, including skin, eye, and hair color, as well as the clothes that they wear and what type of environment they inhabit. In recent weeks, Musk has been especially eager to show off Annie, or Ani, I don't know how to pronounce it, on his Twitter account. Ani is one of several companions, they're called, that you can interact with through Grok. She is a scantily clad female anime character who can undress and is designed to respond to flirtatious conversation with increasingly intimate responses. Now, Musk also frequently reposts similarly sexualized cartoon characters generated with Grok's text-to-video feature. And it's gotten to the point where a lot of people have wondered if he fetishizes these virtual women. But Dante, I feel like this is kind of in line with Elon's kind of e-girl obsession that's gone back several years. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, yes, he's excited about the AI and the fact that you can bend the existence of these digital women to your will. But also, this is kind of his type.
Yeah, I mean, he has this weird fascination with the manic pixie dream girl, e-girl aesthetic thing. I think he's just always been hyper online in a really destructive way for him, it seems.
And it definitely affects his taste. It affects his taste in the women that he likes to serial impregnate. But over this past weekend, Elon really went on a tear about it. His Twitter's always very manic, and he's normally going on multiple tears at once. So I guess that's called range and versatility, right? He's not obsessing over one thing at a time. He's obsessing over three. But he was reposting animation by one of his reply guys of an evidently topless woman whose face, neck, and shoulders were bejeweled by blinking stars and swirling galaxies. He shared an animation from another paid blue check user, which we're going to get into, by the way, who explained he had prompted Grok to show him a, quote, stunning Colombian woman with a golden tan and flawless smooth complexion in a revealing tribal style leather getup, standing next to a large robotic dinosaur. Dante, can you play the tribal video one more time? This is sex as we know it, completely reinvented. And I'm wondering, if this is something that people are gooning to, which gooning, I'm pretty sure, is getting yourself horny, pre-masturbation, right?
No. I'm pretty sure gooning is like literally like extended masturbation sessions. Like it's like you're in the goon cave, you know?
Got it. I've heard gooning used so many times and I never got the full description of it. But gooning is a very popular internet term for those who don't know. No matter what form of masturbation it is, it's definitely being horny and over engaging in online content while you're being horny. So people are gooning on TikTok. They're publicly gooning on Twitter. And this is all goon stuff, these videos. But I'm wondering, like, if this is something people are gooning to, what's the dinosaur for? Like, do people have a robot dinosaur fetish, or was that just a mixture of the goon content and also showing off how great Grok AI is?
I think that the people that are impressed by these videos, it's kind of like jangling keys in front of a toddler. You know, I mean, it's like they're like, oh my god, like it's like that video game. You know, it's like none of this means anything to them.
Maybe because so many of these guys are gamers, this reminds them of Monster Hunter. That's the other thing I was thinking.
Or
Monster
like
Hunter.
Horizon Zero Dawn. It's like the same kind of aesthetic.
Elon also marveled at sort of like a music video for Simple Minds. Don't You Forget About Me. Let's play it real quick. Yeah, you see, that's like, doesn't that look like Horizon Zero Dawn? Or like
I mean, it just looks like
or something?
every generic cyberpunk anime.
I'm pretty sure the clip I sent you is like 4 minutes long. I don't know how much people would. I can't imagine how many people watched that entire thing and just gooned. But this was made with Grok. It features, as you can see, a series of dark-haired anime-like characters in skin-tight spacesuits, and there was one in a bathing suit as well. And Musk wrote, "Wow." And this is just Grok Imagine Beta Volume 1. Not even Imagine Version 1, which I don't know the difference, but I trust him. Last week, he announced that new skimpy outfits had been added to Annie's wardrobe. Annie's the one that he's been gooning over. And he commented, "Nice," when a user modeled her in one. He evidently crossed a line, though, and this is where it gets really interesting for me, when he posted an animation of Annie dancing in just her underwear. Even his right-wing fans were disgusted, telling him it was, quote, time to stop, and that Annie, quote, looked like a 13-year-old in lingerie. And Musk, likely observing the severe backlash, deleted the offending post. But this speaks to a larger problem in the in the AI companion world, which is a lot of the AI companions that people are having sexual conversations with are like deliberately designed to look like children. And a lot of these AI companies, by the way, are lobbying to make sure that there's no legislation that can be passed to regulate this in any way, shape, or form. Dante, are you I know you deliberately try not to engage with this stuff, especially since working for Bulwark, you have to see too much news as it is. But like, are you seeing any of this shit on your timeline?
Like, no. I've been off Twitter since Elon bought it because I knew that was like the death blow. I know Twitter's still there and there's still people on it and doing stuff, but like within like a month of him buying that platform, I was seeing like people dying and like just horrible, like just like racist rhetoric shit everywhere.
There's also AI slop on Instagram now. Like on my Instagram Explore page.
It's not as bad though. It's not as like on Twitter, it's just like everywhere, you know?
Yeah, the problem with Twitter is like it's where I get a lot of the clips that we use for this channel, so I kind of have to use it. But also, like, Blue Sky is so much less toxic a platform. It's so much more well-regulated and everything. But I feel like I just can't get a temperature for how the world is actually feeling about something when I'm on something like Blue Sky. Blue Sky is where I go to get my like MSNBC circle jerk opinions.
Yeah, I mean it's like Twitter for libs. That's what it is.
Yeah, and I am glad that I have a Twitter for libs if I want to see how the people I like are responding to something without having to run into AI gooner slop and snuff films. But also, like, you know, Twitter is messy and filthy and rotten and terrible, but so is the real world right now, I guess. And I feel like you need to be able to take the temperature there. But man, do you remember Twitter from before Elon ruined it? Like, do you remember how fucking awesome it was?
Yeah, it's pretty devastating that the world's most fragile man simply bought an entire platform because people were making fun of him.
That's also like the most popular news platform in the world.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the problem with Elon is that it's so clear he's like actually the most fragile, pathetic guy on the planet. And he also happens to have the most money in the entire world. And he keeps trying to use all that power and money to make people like him. But he's so pathetic and unlikable that no one's buying it.
You have to be a special type of pathetic and unlikable to like change the way space travel is done and to streamline and reinvent the way we go to outer space, and also to invent one of the most impressive pieces of machinery in modern history in the Tesla. And still everybody fucking hates.
Okay. We're not giving him that credit because he didn't do any of that shit.
Okay, please explain
He did not invent
that.
the Tesla. He did not do the company existed before him. He bought the company with a contract stating that he was the founder. Like Tesla, existed before him. He just bought the company and then made them sign a deal to say that he founded the company, even though that's a lie.
Well, it worked on me.
The SpaceX stuff is like the same thing, really. Like it's like he doesn't do any engineering. He doesn't invent anything. He's just a guy with a fuck ton of money because his dad owned an emerald mine. In South Africa.
That part I knew.
Like, he comes from immense wealth in South Africa. He came here. He used all that money granted, I'll give him that he's somehow lucked into some of the greatest investments in history with like PayPal and then, the things that he's gone on to do from that.
He invested in PayPal?
Yeah, him and Peter Thiel were PayPal. It's the PayPal mafia.
Do you know if he and Peter Thiel are cool anymore? I feel like I would have heard something about that.
No, Peter Thiel fucking hates him.
Well, everybody...
You gotta read up on this stuff, man.
If you're gonna, it's sort of like you saying that you don't want to check them. Like, I don't want to read about fucking Peter Thiel. I read about Peter Thiel when I want to do commentary publicly on him just straight up outright stating that he wants to destroy the fucking world and turn us into like a techno-feudalist fiefdom.
But that's why you have to read up about this guy.
No, I read up about that. I read up about Peter Thiel, but
it's all connected. Just
straight up reading the techno-feudalism playbook out loud to everybody and talking about how, because you got to credit Peter Thiel. Of all the architects of the fall of democracy and the failure of the American experiment, I think Thiel is actually the best one at just straight up telling everybody all the evil that's going to be done. Thiel does not try to hide it. He does not try to wrap it in a bow and make it seem as though it's some sort of positive thing. Peter Thiel just goes around saying, like, I am one of the principal architects of the destruction of this country. Like, Project 2025 is real, and the plan was to actually destroy America. Like, he goes out and says what the critics are saying. He just touts it. So I'm not saying that makes him positive or good or anything, but I will say it makes him one of the more useful people to listen to in times like this, because what we assume the Project 2025 Fall of America architects are saying, Peter Thiel has the audacity to just come out and proudly advertise. But stuff like who in Trump world hates who in Trump world, like Stephen Miller beef with Elon, or like there's just so much beef and so much infighting there that it's kind of hard to keep track.
Yeah, to me, Thiel and Musk are like, it's bigger than Trump world. It's its own echelon of stuff.
It's the techno-feudalist great houses in conflict with one another to see who's going to be able to usurp the king.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, all these guys are like, it's the same thing where they're all like, they've all been rejected by the world in some way, and they're all like really bitter about it and trying to like find a place for themselves in the world. Elon gave up on that and is like, I'm going to go to Mars, even though it's like, he's not going to fucking Mars. Like, there's no fucking way that guy's going to Mars. It's all this giant like cope. All of them are coping because they're all losers.
It's the same thing with like the incels who end up committing violence. It just happens to be that this is mass violence at a giant inhuman scale. These people are the incels physically harming countless people in Africa after going in and gutting USAID. Everybody with Bulwark, we're Dante and Cam. There's so much more to say, but Dante has to edit this before we do our next video, so I'm going to cut it off so he has time. Leave a comment down below who you think is worse between Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. Dante, before we go, which one do you think is worse? I think it's Thiel.
Yeah, I think Thiel's definitely like more malicious. I think Elon's just a fucking idiot who doesn't know what he's doing and is now retreating into like K-hole forever.
It's like either competent neo-fascist or incompetent neo-fascist. Competent just is like slightly worse to me. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. More soon. Please don't watch AI gooner slop videos of teenagers naked. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.